Did you know that nearly 1 in 3 people in relationships fear commitment? It's a shocking number, right? You'd think that committing to someone you care about would feel natural, but for many, it's the complete opposite. The fear of commitment is so powerful that it can stop people from having the deep, meaningful relationships they truly want. In this video, we'll dig into why some people are scared to commit and how it impacts their relationships. You'll learn about the surprising reasons behind this fear and discover strategies to overcome it. We'll look at how emotional baggage, the desire for freedom, and even trusting yourself and others can play a huge role in the commitment struggle. Stick with us, because by the end, you'll have a better understanding of why commitment feels so scary and what you can do about it. Chapter 1: The Fear of Losing Freedom. When love feels like a cage, commitment often feels like a threat to freedom. This fear isn't just about losing the ability to make last-minute plans. It's about the idea of being tied down to one person. Studies have shown that nearly 40% of people in relationships admit to feeling trapped by their partner's expectations. The thought of being accountable for someone else's needs can feel like a heavy burden. When you fear losing your autonomy, even the smallest commitments can seem overwhelming. A relationship requires compromises, and some people fear that these compromises might strip them of their individuality. It's easy to see why commitment can feel like a cage. According to psychologist Dr. Laura Berman, the fear of losing freedom is one of the most common reasons people shy away from long-term relationships. They fear the dreaded label of being in a committed partnership. One way to combat this fear is to redefine what commitment means. Instead of thinking of it as losing yourself, consider it an opportunity to create a stronger version of who you already are. Healthy relationships offer the space to grow, not shrink. Setting boundaries within the relationship is essential. You can commit without losing your personal freedom. Research also suggests that people who view commitment as a mutual growth opportunity are happier in their relationships. When both partners respect each other's need for space and individuality, they are more likely to thrive together. In fact, 60% of couples who communicate openly about their independence report higher satisfaction in their relationships. Chapter 2: Emotional Baggage. How past heartbreaks shape our future. Emotional baggage is another major player in the fear of commitment. We've all heard the saying, hurt people hurt people. But the truth is, when you've been hurt, it's easy to expect the same from every relationship. Emotional scars from past heartbreaks, betrayals, or even childhood trauma can cause trust issues that make it hard to open up again. Psychologists call this attachment insecurity. A study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that people with a history of emotional trauma are less likely to trust their partners. They often avoid emotional intimacy, fearing that they'll be hurt again. This is especially common among those who experienced a breakup after investing deeply in a relationship. So, how can you heal and move forward? First, acknowledge your past but don't let it define you. Understanding that not every relationship will end in pain is essential. When you take the time to process past hurt and actively work on healing, you can break the cycle of fear. Therapists often recommend practicing self-compassion and mindfulness as effective ways to heal emotional wounds. These tools help build self-awareness, which is crucial for overcoming the fear of commitment. According to a 2021 report from the American Psychological Association, mindfulness helps reduce anxiety, allowing individuals to open up more freely in relationships. In addition, therapy can be a game changer. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, in particular, has helped many people reframe their negative thought patterns about relationships. By acknowledging your fears and working through them, you're giving yourself permission to commit with an open heart. Chapter 3: The Perfection Myth. Waiting for the ideal partner. The search for perfection is one of the most common reasons people avoid commitment. You might feel like there's always someone better out there. Social media doesn't help either. We're constantly bombarded with images of perfect relationships. But the truth is, no one is perfect. In fact, waiting for the ideal partner can prevent us from recognizing the wonderful qualities of the person right in front of us. A recent study in Psychological Science found that 70% of singles believe they are constantly looking for someone who meets all their ideal criteria. However, research from the University of Toronto shows that the happiest couples are those who choose partners based on shared values and mutual respect, not on superficial qualities. The danger of perfectionism in relationships is that it breeds dissatisfaction. When we're always looking for the perfect partner, we fail to appreciate the imperfections that actually make a relationship unique and fulfilling. One of the most beautiful aspects of love is learning to embrace imperfection. What can you do instead? Shift your mindset. Embrace the idea that relationships require effort and compromise. Instead of seeking out the perfect person, look for someone with shared values and goals who you can grow with. Remember, the most meaningful relationships are built on trust, respect, and emotional connection, not flawless appearances. According to renowned author Dr. John Gottman, one of the key components of lasting relationships is the ability to embrace each other's flaws and work together to improve them. Real relationships involve learning and evolving, not waiting for a perfect person to show up. In the end, understanding that perfection doesn't exist can help you see your partner through a more loving and realistic lens. When you stop searching for perfection, you'll find that the beauty of commitment lies in accepting each other for who you truly are. Subscribe now. If you're enjoying these insights, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. You don't want to miss the next chapters that'll help you understand love and relationships like never before. Chapter 4: Commitment versus Security. Is it a matter of trust? For many, commitment is about more than just staying in a relationship. It's about security. But sometimes, people equate commitment with being stuck in a situation where they feel vulnerable. They fear that by committing, they will lose control, or worse, that they will be hurt. This fear often stems from past experiences where trust was broken, leading them to associate commitment with insecurity. A 2022 study by the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that people who experience trust issues are more likely to struggle with long-term commitment. They're afraid that by committing, they will open themselves up to hurt or betrayal. But the key to overcoming this fear is understanding that true commitment builds trust, and with trust comes security. One strategy for overcoming this fear is open and honest communication. When you talk openly about your fears with your partner, you both can work together to create a safe and supportive space. Dr. John Gottman, a leading researcher on relationships, stresses that couples who openly share their vulnerabilities with each other are more likely to succeed in the long run. Additionally, it's essential to recognize that trust is built over time. It's a gradual process, not something that happens overnight. By taking small, consistent steps toward building trust in your relationship, you will start to feel more secure in your commitment. Dr. Brené Brown, a renowned expert on vulnerability, says, "Vulnerability is not winning or losing. It's having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcome." If you can embrace vulnerability and work on building trust in small, meaningful ways, you will find that commitment isn't a threat, it's a foundation for a stronger, more secure connection. Chapter 5: FOMO, the fear of missing out on better options. In today's world of endless dating apps and social media, the fear of missing out, FOMO, is real. With so many options available, it's easy to question whether your current partner is the best fit. The idea of settling can paralyze people, making it difficult for them to commit to one person. But here's the thing: constantly seeking better options can lead to a cycle of dissatisfaction and loneliness. A study conducted by the University of California found that 30% of people in relationships admit they constantly compare their partner to others, often through social media. This comparison can make them feel like they're missing out on something better, making it hard for them to commit. The constant search for the one can cause anxiety and ultimately prevent happiness in a relationship. The antidote to FOMO in relationships is mindfulness. Focus on the present moment and the value your partner brings to your life. Dr. Dan Siegel, a well-known neuroscientist, suggests that practicing mindfulness can help reduce feelings of dissatisfaction by allowing us to fully appreciate what we have. When you're present, you can better recognize the qualities in your partner that make them unique and irreplaceable. Another helpful strategy is to stop idealizing other options. Research from the University of Chicago shows that people tend to idealize what could be rather than appreciating what is. This makes it harder to commit because the grass always seems greener on the other side. But by focusing on your partner's strengths and what makes your relationship special, you can combat the illusion of better options. Lastly, stop using dating apps as a safety net. Studies show that constantly swiping through profiles increases feelings of dissatisfaction in relationships. Taking a break from these apps allows you to focus on nurturing the relationship you have, rather than constantly searching for the next better option. Chapter 6: Commitment is Self-Love. Can you love another without loving yourself? The fear of commitment often stems from low self-esteem or the inability to love oneself. If you don't feel worthy of love or a healthy relationship, committing to someone else can seem impossible. But here's the truth: you can't fully commit to someone else if you haven't first committed to loving yourself. A 2018 study in Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin found that people with higher self-esteem are more likely to form lasting, healthy relationships. When you feel secure in who you are, you're more capable of committing to someone else without fear of being abandoned or rejected. So how can you start loving yourself more? It begins with self-awareness. Take time to reflect on your strengths, your values, and the qualities that make you unique. Understanding your worth is crucial in forming a healthy, committed relationship. Dr. Tara Brach, a psychologist and author, notes that self-love is not selfish, it's essential for a fulfilling life and healthy relationships. Self-care is also an important practice. Whether it's through exercise, meditation, journaling, or simply setting aside time for yourself, taking care of your physical and emotional health will help you feel more confident and ready for commitment. The better you feel about yourself, the more you'll be able to offer to a relationship. Another key aspect of self-love is setting healthy boundaries. By defining what you need and what you won't tolerate, you can create a relationship where both partners feel valued and respected. Research by Dr. Gary Chapman, author of The 5 Love Languages, shows that setting boundaries in relationships increases satisfaction and reduces feelings of resentment. Remember, self-love isn't a destination, it's a lifelong journey. As you learn to love and appreciate yourself, you'll find that commitment becomes less of a fear and more of a natural extension of the love you have for yourself and your partner. Subscribe now. If you've enjoyed these chapters and are ready to dive even deeper into the world of relationships, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We'll continue exploring love, commitment, and everything in between, giving you tools to create stronger, healthier connections.